fight here is going on, this little scrimmage that Miss Fortune is desperately trying to do that seems to be a little bit slow. And actually, I guess Taric is in fact on the good team, on the green team. We're saying go green, stop red. You know, it is just like the normal traffic laws in all of America. So I'm sorry because Taric is actually on the green team. So my bad, guys, that is my fault. Now Nocturne is in fact going for the blue buff on the red team side, which I do like. Now I think Katarina did not see it because he actually did pull back up. Now Katarina and Kennen look like they're pretty much on par with each other. And I mean, Katarina as a player can be such a danger late game. She's kind of one of those players who's extremely scary to play against when she's late game, because she uses her ulti where she flies in, does this little spinny thing. She's like, hey look guys, I am in fact a ballerina, and she'll throw blades at everyone and anyone that she possibly can and really just kind of destroy everyone. And now Nocturne is getting a little bit far behind. You guys do not in fact see, he's a little bit behind the other players in levels. He is barely matching Miss Fortune and Taric over here, but as soon as he gets his ulti up and he does get to level 6, he will in fact be able to actually do a lot of damage to Katarina here. But now Katarina is going to be in a lot of trouble because Nocturne is going to be flanking behind her, and I think that he'll actually be able to kill Katarina. He is going to use his W, his E, and now that Katarina does decide to just flash into him for whatever reason, he does in fact take her out though, so that was a very, very smart engagement choice by Nocturne. So now he will be pulling back to his base, just a little bit satisfied, probably with a nerdy smile on his face, because in order to be this good, guys, let's face it, we do have to be nerds. But for me to cast a game of other guys playing a game, you know, you have to be a super nerd. So I'm not taking anything against these guys. I mean, they do hard work, you know, they have to earn this. They have to play as a team perfectly, play synchronized, and you can see that they're just typing like crazy. And I think that maybe because they do not in fact have someone in Ventrilo or something like that, or maybe there's like a language barrier, who freaking knows, or maybe just one of them can't talk. How terrible would that be if you were that guy who just could not talk? Now you can see that actually that units are going down left and right. The units are kind of pushing. Now Nocturne is going to be pushing on the bottom lane because Taric is in a lot of trouble. Taric actually may go down here. Taric will in fact go down, I believe. And there he does go down. So Mumu with a very good mummy grab thing. I don't know what that is in fact called, but he does grab it. Now if we take a quick item check, because I know that's what you guys want to do, we are in fact at the almost 10-minute mark, and we can see that Nocturne has gone for the standard jungling Madrids with boost of speed, with health potions, whereas Kennen has gone for boost of swiftness and still kept that growth pendant, and the Galio has gone for a sapphire crystal with a health pot, whereas Miss Fortune has just gone for Dawn's blade with Iona boost of lucidity, health pot, and a mana potion, whereas Taric has gone for the Fiendish Codex and the boost of speed. So that is just for you guys. If you guys play any of these characters, you probably want to keep these builds in mind. Now you can see this little eyeball up here. That's because someone did in fact use the clairvoyance on it. So they do know that Nocturne is trying to get the blue buff again, because the blue buff is in fact almost out. And you can see Katarina did in fact run down here. So she is going to steal blue buff, but no, Nocturne barely gets it and slyly gets out. That is a close play that does make you feel just a little bit good, and confidence is everything in these kind of games, especially in League of Legends. I have found out, because if you think you're gonna suck before the game actually starts and you think you're gonna lose, you generally do a lot worse, just simply because League of Legends is pretty much derived on confidence and being able to say, you know what, we can push this lane and we can take it out. Now you can see that Alistar is going to be pushing up here. Kennen's going to be in a lot of trouble because of Mumu and Alistar are all getting there. And actually, Mumu does in fact grab Alistar here. So the Kennen does in fact go down, but Alistar may in fact go down right behind him. Sorry about the lag, folks. That is my bad. It will just kind of skirt on over here in just a couple of seconds, and there you go. And now Nocturne's pinging in because he wants to kill all of these units. You can see that all the units are going to be in trouble. Now Taric here is going to be in trouble himself because there are a lot of units here, as well as Soraka's heal. So the Taric can be in a little bit of trouble, and same with the Nocturne. This can be a giant creep push. Now there is going to be Nocturne, who is a little bit fed, or actually not really, he's just 1 and 0. If you do go to creep kills, you can see that he is in fact mostly leading the way with 44. He's actually in 3rd place, just behind one of his own teammates, who does in fact have 51, and that is Kennen. So Kennen is being a beast at collecting the creep kills. And now Nocturne's just going to steadily be killing the units, and they really want to prevent this middle tower here, right here. I think I can actually I don't even want to try to ping it, because if I try to ping it, my computer may freeze. I've tried to pause it, and I found that when you try to pause it, the computer freezes. So I've figured that it's better to just not touch it at all, and just kind of say, you know what, that has a giant no touchy sign on it, as opposed to trying to mess with it and push it to its full extent and then have it crash on me. Especially when I've been casting for a whole 12 freaking minutes, which is a very, very long time. For those of you You do not, in fact, have the concept of time yet because you are still in the adolescent age. Because, again, for those of you guys who do not know, you guys are going to be getting a little bit of a treat here. And that is that you do not actually develop a sense of time until you are like 5 or 6 years old or something like that. And you actually also don't invent the size, like a concept of size, until you're 3, I think it is, or 4 or 5 or something like that. They were actually doing a psychological test on kids. Now, while I'm actually going to interject here just to say that Nocturne is in fact trying to push behind Soraka, Miss Fortune, and and Garen. And Garen and the Soraka here are going to be pushing up a little bit hard, so this is a very good time for Nocturne to in fact decide that this is the time to engage. And now he's saying ping on the Soraka. Soraka is going to get ultied, and there's going to be the ulti from Miss Fortune. I think Soraka will in fact go down. Soraka will not go down. There's an extremely good stun by Garen, so Garen will in fact take out Miss Fortune. Now Nocturne is going to have to push back here, and I think that if he had been a little bit careless, he would have died as well. So that was a very, very bad push for the green team of the environmentally friendly team, because obviously they are the team that is on the grass here that is so environmentally friendly, and they're saying, you know what guys, we love our earth. And then the red team is saying, you know what guys, I thought that they were like all dark and stuff, or yeah, see, it's like it's all charred ground. Right here it's charred ground anyways. And now Nocturne is getting taken down, and he actually does kill Garen while I was talking about that, so sorry about that. I'm sure that there will be some people who in fact complain, and he actually does kill Soraka as well. So Nocturne does in fact grab the double kill. So Morlom, who is in fact sounding a lot like Mormon. I'm not going to say anything, so I do not know if he is in fact Mormon, and he says Murda, which is Merda, because it is Sweden. And yes, I know I have a good Sweden accent, guys, but basically that means dead, in case you guys were wondering, because I do speak Spanish roughly. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I can say yo hablo español, donde está un McDonald's, and whatnot. And I think that this middle tower will in fact go down. Katarina will take it out, so the middle tower is going to be down, and that's going to be a huge deterrent in the green team's plan, because they really do not want to lose that tower. That is an extremely bad thing to have happen. Now Taric is going to push up here, and he's just going to keep on trying to kill the creep. They're all trying to mine creep, and I think that now it looks like Nocturne actually is going to be transferring into Vampiric Scepter with Berserker Boots and Wriggler's Lantern. So he's going to be a pretty big concern for the red team to be, because he is in fact, I think, going to be the MVP of this game. I think that's why they actually picked him at random, because he is in fact the most valuable player. Now Garen's going to be chasing down Miss Fortune, so Miss Fortune will have to run away. I think that Garen here is going to be out overstepping himself a little bit, but Katarina and Alistar are all pushing out here, and so now there's going to be a huge battle. But I think that the battle is more of a slaughter, because the green team is in fact becoming genocidal. And now there's going to be an ulti by Kina Kennen, but that's going to be kind of deterred here, because this entire red team here is all magic resistance, very, very heavy magic resistance. You can see boots of mobility here, and I mean that just makes you go really fast basically. And he has Philosopher's Stone on as his backup. So now I think green team is in just a little bit of trouble. They either need to knock down one of the top or bottom towers, or they need to make a big push down the middle and kill a couple of the enemy teams. And the one thing I like about watching a very high level game like this is that the people don't carelessly die, and yet there are so many battles and so many engagements that like it takes just a small mistake for the other team to take an advantage and get control, which is why League of Legends is so much fun to watch, because it is so easy for the games to switch back and forth. It can kind of be like the game where, you know, you don't really know who is going to win until the very, very last second. Now, if you'll excuse me, sorry about that, I did actually have to cough. And so now Miss Fortune is going to be pushing the top lane. Nocturne is going to be trying to help out his teammates here, because he does not want to, in fact, lose this. And now you can see that all the units are actually going to be pushing up here. The red team is going to have to push back with Alistar, and I think Nocturne is actually trying to figure out if Katarina is there, but he does not in fact want to push out, because Alistar and Amumu are both here. Now they're going to push back, but if he actually did miss both of those clips, he did actually miss his Q. And if you guys do not know, Nocturne's Q, and as a side note, top tower did in fact go down, but Nocturne's Q actually makes it so that he is fast and he chases them a lot easier. Now Alistar actually did knock Kennen back, so I think this is going to be a very, very bad engagement for the green team. You never want to engage with a Soraka and not have to focus her down first. You can see they're actually going to be focusing down Amumu, but there's a very good Q by Soraka, so that actually will be deterred. Now Kennen's going to have to run away, Nocturne's going to run away, and I think he is saying, you know what, Taric, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to leave you because you are screwed. And now the green team is in a lot of trouble. They're going to need some kind of big push to in fact take this game back, and we'll see if Nocturne and his friends and allies can in fact take this back. We shall see. Now, as you guys do not probably know already, this is in fact tournament gameplay. So so this is for realsies, this is for some amount of money. And now I know that League of Legends tournaments aren't don't have very much money behind them, but that's also because what I've noticed is that there's such a huge fan base out there. I'm sure there are people in the League of Legends games. Shut up, bird. Get out of here. We need to have some sort of anti-bird law, I swear, because birds are not our friends. That is what is it? What is it? Fish are friends, or I don't know. If you watched that movie, you would understand what I'm saying. But if not, you're probably giving me a WTF stare over the computer screen. But like I was saying, League of Legends has such a big fan base, and Riot Gaming doesn't really support them too much, is what I've noticed. I mean, they support them and do such a great job with their game. Like, every week they come out with a new character or something crazy, it seems like, and it's so much fun to play. But, I mean, after a while, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, I want this replay function. I want to just watch really good players play because, you know, StarCraft 2, they've done so good already. Just having this fan base of saying, you know what, we have really professional players who do this for a living to watch. And now that actually Katarina will, in fact, go down. Followed with, it looks like Garen will die, and I think Nocturne may actually get a triple kill here because he actually is going to go right after this Soraka. Now Soraka is going to probably die because I think that he will QE and just destroy Soraka, but he is in fact instead deciding, hey, you know what, I will instead opt to kill a minion instead and get some money that way. Maybe a good choice, but Soraka does in fact have heals. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing, but he is in fact a much better player than I am, so he should know. And it looks like Alistar was in fact coming to help, so that was a very heads-up play by Nocturne to know that that was in fact a good time to push out. Now I know that players love to hear their names, so you know what, Morlom, that was a good play by you. Good job, Mormon. Now Alistar will actually get EW'd and Q'd here, I'm guessing, in just a couple of seconds with Miss Fortune in tow, right behind the Nocturne, and actually Alistar does in fact die, so that was a very, very heads-up play by Nocturne. He's really making things happen in this game. I think that Nocturne really is going to be the MVP of this game. Being the Mormon that he is, he's going to be kind of taking control of this game, taking the bull by the horns. He's saying, League of Legends, you are the bull, but I will be grabbing you by the horns. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear the music, but that's mostly for me, because I just like to hear music because it kind of calms my ADD. My ADD is like a demon.